The challenge of today is to find a decorative hem that looks close to the same and totally acceptable on the purl side of the fabric. That is because I'm working on this Dreamweaver blanket for the Knit Weaving Extravaganza series that's coming up in Country Knitting and Maine News and Views magazine. Knit weaving does its work from the purl side of the fabric, so the purl needs to be the right side. So here's what we're going to do. This is not actually identical on the two ends, but it's quite close and I find it acceptable. And it gets closer and closer the more you stretch it lengthwise and lightly steam it. Start out with a normal chain stitch cast on using the main yarn around every needle. Then, in addition, using 2 strands of the trimming color, E-wrap every other needle. Wrap the final needle whether or not it is due for a wrap based on the every other needle pattern. At main stitch size minus 2 whole numbers, that's what works for me. You might want to tweak it. It may be 1 and a little whole numbers. Knit the number of rows for the hem. I want my hem to be 2 inches wide. This is 6 rows per inch. So I need 24 rows so that when I double the fabric, I'll have my 2 inches. So 24 rows. Now hang both strands from the E-wraps, the ones in contrasting yarn, on every other needle, but do include the end needle. At the beginning, I had a special wrap that we had made on the very end needle for it. I still need a loop on the left end. I just split the 2 strands, and so both are hung on the second needle from the end. One is hung on the end. This is to make the appearance of the contrasting color continuous across the entire blanket. Now increase to main stitch size and knit the entire length of the blanket, whatever that might be. Mine is very short just for the purposes of demonstrating. With doubled trimming yarn, E-wrap every other needle again, following the same rules as before. Reduce stitch size to the hem stitch size. Knit the same number of hem rows as the first time. For me, that's 24. Now, hang those E-wraps, same as we did the last time, on every other needle. Now take the main yarn out of the feeder in the carriage and use it to bind off. This machine has gate pegs, and so the easiest chain stitch bind off, which is what we want to use to match the cast on pretty well, is working around the gate pegs. If we did not have gate pegs, as on a hobby machine, that would be okay. We could work the transfer bind off and get basically the same effect. The pattern is written in 3 gauges and 2 sizes, one for a newborn receiving blanket, one for a doll. This is a baby-sized doll, a real human baby size, but it's snuggling under the doll-sized blanket so that we can get a good look at it.